for New Mississippi has taken a stand for budget reform that is achievable. This can be done. Unlike 80 years of recommendations, this can and must be done. Many other states, including Texas, Louisiana, Arizona, and North Carolina, have used performance-based budgeting system for decades. Mississippi has had it in a framework, as I said earlier, since 1994. It is time for us to go back to the future. It is time for us to fully implement performance-based budgeting. In closing, let me thank the entire Commission. This has not been an easy process. We understand the hard work of the legislative budget staff, but in reality, this 700-page document that comes from the legislative budget report is seldom read and to my knowledge, very rarely ever used. We must change this old system. The Commission has taken that on. I want to thank all of the men and women that were a part of this. Now believe me, there was intense debate throughout the Commission as to how we should take this project on, what direction we should go, and how long it will take us. Could we have consultants? How could we do this with no funding? But they plowed on. Throughout the year, they understood that I was dedicated to this process. Now, there's short term in government, and there's long term. The short term, we'll all be talking about this nearly $700 million shortfall. In the long run, we must talk about changing the system that brought us here. That's what this report is about. We believe it is achievable. It's so important to understand as we went about this task, we wanted to bring forward a plan that is achievable. Last year, many of you may know that the peer committee put together a very detailed report on other savings. We took this into consideration. Many of these recommendations are also included in our report. As we started talking about reorganization, I held this up to the Commission and I hold it up to many legislators and even some members of the press, and I say, you know, there's already a report that's only 1 year old that makes recommendations about changes in government. Let us proceed on a course that will change not just today's problems, but problems in the future. So I want to thank the Commission for their work. I am grateful for their commitment, and I am hopeful that their commitment will continue as we take on other challenges in the future with the Commission for New Mississippi. Now, one of the gentlemen that was a part of this that I'd like to ask to make some comments. As you see, this is a very bipartisan commission. I didn't want people that would just reflect my thoughts and ideas. I wanted an independent, bipartisan commission made up of people who are not directly in government. And one of the leaders that I turned to was my former Speaker Pro Tem in the House of Representatives, a man that I admire and trust, Representative Robert Clark. And as part of the commission, I would like Representative Clark, our Speaker Pro Tem, when I was in the House of Representatives, if he would, please come forward and make comments.
Thank you, Governor. It has certainly been a pleasure to have the opportunity to be a part of this commission on the efficiency and effectiveness in state government. And this is something that I've been fighting for a number of years, 36 years in the legislature, and 8 years on the Joint Legislative Budget Committee. And one of the things I like about this report, you know, we want to fund the agencies and give each state agency all of the money, finances that it will need that we can afford to do what it is supposed to do. But in the past, we have not had anything before us coming from those agencies saying, I am going to do this, X, Y, Z. But what I like about this, it is going, these agencies and the state is going to have a strategic plan stating what they are going to do. And when they come before the Joint Legislative Budget Committee to ask for finances, they are going to be saying, we are going to do X, Y, Z. But most of the times when they come, we look at, well, some agencies want a 10% increase and some want a 5% increase. But if an agency comes before the Joint Legislative Budget Committee and says, well, we don't want but a 2% increase. Well, we have looked up on that as favorable. And not knowing what they are going to do with it, not knowing if they are going to meet their objectives or not. But this is something that has been long overdue, and I'm certainly proud to be a part of it, and the entire state of Mississippi is going to be a winner when this program is adopted. Thank you very much.